All right, everybody, in this one we have a 2016 or 17 Nissan Sentra. Issue with this one is that there's an intermittent check engine light that came on, and when the client had it scanned in our garage, they had the very small evap leak stored in the system. Now, don't worry about these codes. These are codes that I produce onto the vehicle. I already have this vehicle diagnosed. I just thought I'd bring you guys along and show you guys what I found. Now, whenever we are dealing with evap leaks, don't go looking for issues where there's no issues. All right, what I mean by that is think of a logical approach and stick with that logical approach. Now, your logical approach might be different from somebody else, but this is my logical approach every time I get an evap leak code. I never take and say that there is not an evap leak onto the vehicle, even though the code is in history, because evap leaks end up happening. The small leaks are detected between 8 to 14 hours after the car is turned off, where a large leak is detected when the car is driving. So you got to be very careful when you are diagnosing these. A history code doesn't mean that there's not a leak. It just means that it didn't detect it within the amount of time that the vehicle was off to on. Now, after that, what we want to do is that we want to go into our actuation test special functions, wherever it may be, and we want to take our canister close valve and we want to take and we want to close that. Now, the reason we want to close that is because we want to take and we want to seal the system up completely to 100% in order to do a smoke test. Now, if we leave the ventilation valve open, the smoke is going to escape into the atmosphere, which we don't really want. So we come into here, and luckily the xtool takes and it turns on the valve automatically, and I can hear it click in the back. Now, what that does is that it takes and it closes the valve. Now, you have to be very careful. Just because it's a valve doesn't mean that the valve cannot have a small leak into it. So if you're looking at the whole entire system, and you start up at the purge valve, and then you work your way down the lines, and then you work your way at the gas tank, and then you work your way to the back where the canister close valve is, and you still don't see a leak, the leak might be internal to a component, maybe onto the purge valve, maybe onto the canister close valve. So always take and do your due diligence, remove the hoses if you don't see that, and if you do, well, take and replace the faulty component at that point. But this one was a little bit different. So show you guys where I hooked up onto the front, and then I'm going to show you guys what I ended up finding. Over here, I have my nice little O'Toole STD 106 hooked up. It's a great little smoke machine. It doesn't have a pressure gauge, but that's okay. All right, now my purge valve lives over here, and what I did was that I just unhooked this one-way valve or this filter. I don't know which one it is, but then I hooked it up onto this line leading back to the gas tank. Now, whenever you're doing evap leaks, you always want to hook to the line that leads back to the gas tank. Don't hook up at the valve because there might be something in the way. Go to the line that leads to the gas tank and go into there. Now, after that, I have the car jacked up. I went underneath, I checked everything. There was no visible leaks from underneath, but I decided to come over, and I could smell fuel, and I could smell my my smoke machine, because I use a special type of oil into it for cutting wood or wood polishing, and it has a distinct smell. So I know that there's a leak when I end up smelling it. So what ended up happening was I came over, and I could actually hear it leaking. Now, this is where it gets a little bit funny. Try to set you guys down here. Maybe I'll get a good video view of it also. Okay. You guys are upside down right now. Sorry about that, but I'm just going to pour some water. Fill some water. And here we go. All right. So, as you can tell, there's a nice little leak or a crack onto the front pump assembly itself that is causing that small evap leak. So, check every single area when you are doing a diagnosis onto an evap system. All right. Don't leave any area unchecked. Even if it might take you an hour to get to, try sell it to the client. The last thing you want is the client to call you and be like, my car's still broken, I paid you X amount of money. So do your due diligence and really look into what is going on with the client's car based on the concern. So that's it on this one. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and as always, I will see you guys next time.